Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of Behind the Signs. We are talking to Kelsey Dalton McClellan of Heart and Bone Signs in Chicago. Kelsey, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for chatting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you at ISA, and congratulations on being named one of the top 5 women in signs.
Thank you.
And why don't you tell us, well, a little bit about you, how you got in, because your story is great. I read the article in Signs of the Times, and how you get into the craft of gold leaf and hand painted signs, and about how the Women in Signs came about for you.
Yeah, so I've been in the I guess I'm considered an artist, and so far as the sign trade goes,
Oh yeah.
uh, I had studied art in school, and that's where I met my husband. And we both sort of had dabbled in signs ignorantly, not knowing what we were doing. We made chalkboard signs and things like that for businesses, just to supplement our income. And then we were accepted as a collaborative to go to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago for their graduate program,
Hmm.
and moved to Chicago. And at that point, we were really broke. We had no money. We were struggling to get by. School was extremely expensive. And so we would paint signs and things like that, trying to, make ends meet. And at that point, we were walking downtown where our school was located, and there were all these gold leaf signs, and
Hmm.
I was really enamored with them. I had never seen anything like that before, and reached out to one of the sign makers, whose name is Robert Fries, and he became a mentor and taught us how to essentially the sign industry, which he had been doing in Chicago for the past 30 years. And now we have a really great friendship, and we're now sign painters.
That's great. So he kind of passed the baton to you guys.
Yep. Yep. He
That's
taught us. He
that's
hadn't
good.
really taught anybody yet. And so it was just good timing. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're sitting in your office. I love your giant collection of signs you have going on there in the background. So tell us about so when you guys, what are some of the, how did you get started actually in your own business? Like how did you get the word out there about what you were doing, and start building relationships, and how does your operation work? Because I know in the article it said that a big percentage of the signs that you do, 40% or whatever you do outside of Chicago. So do you guys have a pretty good sized shop area that you work in, or how does all that work?
Yeah. We sort of started marketing ourselves, I guess, maybe 12 to 10 years ago. And it was really at the advent of social media.
Mm,
Uh, and so there is a sort of subculture of hand painted signs.
mm,
So we learned a lot through that. There were, and essentially, really just hitting the pavement, cold calling people, talking to people,
mm,
offering our services to businesses. You start noticing that people need signs.
mm,
Notice where there's, maybe someone's sign is, falling off, or the painted sign has started to disappear, or things like that. So
mm,
seeing opportunities in the landscape, and trying to talk to people, and obviously building a portfolio.
mm.
Um, Through that, we just really made wonderful relationships with our clients, and that just progressed. And I think I would say we started traveling for work within the last maybe 4 or 5 years.
Mm.
Um, we had been contacted to go somewhere else in a nearby area, and then that kind of just expanded into a larger network of people that kind of knew our work. And then additionally, we often work as subcontractors for larger sign companies that need our services, such
Mm.
as leaf, or oftentimes large scale hand painted signage.
Yeah. So, yeah, I did go to your Instagram portfolio, which is really cool. You guys have thousands and thousands, what, like 40,000 followers on there or something? It's
Yeah, we
huge,
have
right?
we have a good following at this point, which is fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you're famous.
Thanks.
You're like a TikTok kid.
I guess. Yeah, we actually are getting like promotional opportunities, which we don't know anything about, but
Yeah, I know. It's hard to navigate all that stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. We just focus on signs and we're glad people enjoy them, so.
Yeah, for sure. So is that how a good majority of your new clients are finding you through social media like that?
Yeah, I would say social media. I mean, we have a website, and I would, I said in the Signs of the Times that a lot of it is word of mouth. I think
Yeah.
we get majority of our clients through work they've seen that we've done, or they know a client of ours, and then they reach out to
Yeah.
us.
Well, like I was telling you earlier, I just love anything and all things murals and hand painted signs. And I've been in the sign industry for a long time, but I've my background is sales, and I can talk. Like I said, I could talk a good game. I could tell you how a neon sign is made, or but if I could do one thing in the industry as a craftsman, it would definitely be the hand painted mural stuff. So what would you say was your favorite project that you did? And I know it's probably a lot, right? But what was your one project that you just absolutely loved?
Recently we just did a historic building downtown with our mentor. And that was just really special because it's a building that has kept the gold standard, meaning all the outward facing tenants continue to have gold leaf signs. So
Hmm.
it's a really stunning, beautiful, architecturally significant building. And so working with him on that was really special because it was one of the buildings I would walk by and, tell myself I'm going to do that one day. So there,
Uh,
and I was doing it. So sentimentally, that was really special.
yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, Chicago, does the city just have a big historical, sign, commission or whatever? Do they work pretty hard at, keeping all those things
You
in
know,
place?
not at all. And I would
No.
our mentor is the reason why it still exists.
Huh.
So it's the responsibility is definitely on the sign makers to educate people and essentially sales to let them know how important it is to preserve signage like that. It
Yeah.
really it gives the city a lot, and I know people respect it, but it is important that we continue the tradition.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know in Austin, we have historical markers in certain areas and buildings that are, preserved as historical. And they
Yeah.
have to have his, non-lit, hand lettered, gold leaf signs. But there's not a lot. It's like it seems like more and more and more those historic buildings are getting either moved or torn down, a brand
Yeah.
new glass skyscrapers are being built. Progress, yay! So tell us a little bit about. As you know, my daughter was also one of the women in the Women in Science. So it was great that you guys were able to meet and connect and do that together. How did that come about for you?
You know, I I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how I was selected, but we had the previous year been we had talked to Signs of the Times and we had been featured in an article along with some other hand painted sign artists. Um, and but insofar as receiving the award, I'm not really sure. I'm really honored and I'm really thankful to be a part of that group. I mean, I was kind of blown away by all the different people and the range of experience
Hmm.
group. It was really great.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that. Yeah,
Thank you.
that was pretty moving. All the speeches were great, and
Yeah.
if you didn't see it, by the way, I did post on Behind the Signs. Our Keith here, that's editing and monitoring us right now. He did a great job editing all those speeches, and yours was great. It's all on our site if you ever want to see it, or if you want a copy of it, just let me know. So.
Awesome.
So, you mentioned when we were in Las Vegas, we were chatting about your passion project and preserving, obviously, hand lettering, gold leaf lettering, but you have a book project you're working on. So, can you tell us about that and the fundraising part of that, because we really want to support you in that effort. So tell us all about that.
Great. Yeah. So I'll start from the beginning. Last year, in the summer of last year, there was a building that was slated for demolition, and it was being developed. The land was being developed, and part of the process of demoing the building was taking off all the old siding. The siding had been on there for about 60 years. Well, underneath the siding were these incredible ghost signs from the 20s and 30s.
Oh,
And
wow.
the word went out. A friend actually sent a tweet of someone who had posted about it to me, and we hopped in the car, ran over there, and were just blown away. It was as if, because they had been so well preserved, it was as if they had just been painted because the color
Wow.
was so vibrant. So something struck a nerve, and we sort of kind of came together as a group here, and were like, we need to save the signs. Um, and they're huge, really tall, on wood slats. So it was a crazy initiative, but we felt really compelled. And one of the things that pushed us forward was on one of the signs, and I can give you pictures so you can kind of put them in the story, but
I would love it.
there was a signature of Briggs. And Bob, another friend and mentor of ours, said, I know that name. He started Beverly Sign Co. And so then it turned into this sort of unraveling of all this history related to Beverly Sign Co. So, long story short, we were able to save the signs. We had about 20 days to get the scaffolding up, get the signs down, get them to the sign museum in Cincinnati.
Wow.
So it was just a whirlwind. And then after getting that done successfully, Bob said, I have all of these sketches from Beverly Sign Co. And he said his mentor, Ken Millar, who's very well recognized for modern sign design, had for years tried to get a book published and was unsuccessful. He just had bad timing. Because at that time, people weren't, putting books out. They weren't printing. Everybody was saying it's websites. Vinyl had come into play. So he was unsuccessful in doing that. And Bob said, I really want you guys to do something with these. Gave them over to us. And once we saw them, my husband and I, we realized, wow, these are unbelievable. We need to get them out, and we need to make this book. And so we are not in the publishing industry.
Yeah.
So we began looking into it, started making great connections. And one of the things I'm really thankful for is right before he passed in December 2022, Bob was able to let Ken know that we are in fact making the book.
Oh,
So
that's amazing.
So he was really excited about that, and he subsequently sent us even more material, and his family has since sent more. So we just have this enormous collection of his work, also all of the work from Beverly Sign Co. So we've one of the things we learned in figuring out how to do the book is the cost of publishing. So we realized pretty quickly we needed to start a Kickstarter. And so we've started a Kickstarter that is up. We're almost at the goal at this point. And we made a little video, and we've started scanning the photograph or the sketches. And so it's moving along. So if anybody would like to pre-order, you can do so on the Kickstarter. Okay. And the book is called Beverly Sign Co. The Rediscovered Sketches of, or I'm sorry, it's called The Golden Era of Sign Design, The Rediscovered Sketches of Beverly Sign Co.
Wow. That's great. That's really exciting. And it's so cool that you guys are, well, thank you, I guess I should say, is for preserving this important part of the sign industry, right? I mean, it's cool. It's I think you know you guys and the hand lettering and the gold leaf and the neon artists, right? Like those two things are it's so cool to see those things having a little bit of a resurgence, and it's exciting. And we will definitely get all the information about the book and any video you want to share. We can put it on the end so people can see it, and all the links to pre-order the book and get involved in. And we'll definitely support it. And I'm definitely going to buy a book too, for sure.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, it's going to be great.
yeah, for sure. Well, what's up next for you guys? You got any big projects on the horizon that you're excited about?
Yeah, we have a lot. We're back on the road on Monday, so we're headed out. We've got some work on the East Coast, and then we're headed to Alaska, which will be fun.
Great.
So I guess at a certain point, maybe we can check off all the every state for having
Yeah.
a it.
That's a great goal. Do it. Also, I would love it, you know, if you can, any videos when you're on the road that you're making and or painting, I'd love it, you know, if you shared it in behind the signs as well too, because you know, there's a lot of folks there to partner with, and I think it would be great. They'd love to see it as well. So
yeah. You know, when we were at ISA, I think one of the things I realized is there's so many people who it's like a giant family industry where so many people said, "Oh, my dad did it this way. My grandfather did it this way." So there's just, I think people like remembering and that part of their business's past. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know this was really short notice, so thanks for spending a little bit of time with us today. And good luck with the book and all the stuff you're working on. And hopefully I'll see you out on the road.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelsey. All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.